In the lightweight division at UFC Vegas 76, one of the best divisions in the UFC where anything can happen. You got the Brazilian Ismagulov comes in at 19-3, taking on Benoit Saint Denis, who comes in at a nice 10-1. So it's going to be a tough fight for Bonfim. Denis, 3 inches taller, 5'11". They're both 27 years old, entering the prime of their career. Barely, right? Like 27 to 33 is the prime. Now, Denis, 1-inch reach advantage, 73 to 72. He's a southpaw or left-hander, where Bonfim stands right-handed. Now, in terms of activity, that goes to Bonfim. 5.3 significant strikes per minute to 4.4 for Denis. That's about a 15 significant strike advantage over the course of 3 rounds. Now, Denis lands more takedowns, over 1 per round. Bonfim gets like 1 every other round, but he's got 100% takedown defense. So he's going to stuff some of these takedowns from Denis. Bonfim opened a lot of eyes when he KO'd Terrence McKinney in the second round. He also beat Abusov by decision in the Contender Series. So he's coming through the Contender Series. Denis has back-to-back wins over Gabriel Miranda by KO. Nicholas Stolze, big win by submission. Lost to Elizio Zaleski dos Santos by decision. You would expect that, right? Because, 2 guys that can land takedowns. That's a guy that has a lot of experience. And he just dominated him 149 to 67 in significant strikes, but Denis did have 2 takedowns. Now, by no means do I think this is going to be an easy fight, but I like Ismail Bonfim just because of the activity and the takedown defense. So he can defend the takedowns. He may lose a round, but he's going to win by decision in the other 2 rounds because he's going to dominate in significant strikes. Probably leads by 6 to 8 significant strikes in the other 2 rounds. The Brazilian will win, in my opinion, barely, by decision to move to 20-3, but a lot of good experience coming in this one against a 10-1 Saint Denis here in the lightweight division, UFC Vegas 76. In the women's flyweight division at UFC Vegas 76, you got Ariane Lipski coming in at 15-8, taking on Melissa Gatto, who comes in at 8-1, also has 2 draws. This is Brazil on Brazil. Now Lipski 1-inch taller at 5'6". They're both in their late 20s. Gatto 2-inch reach advantage. They both stand right-handed. Now, in terms of activity, Lipski leads there barely, 3.9 significant strikes per minute to 3.3 for Gatto. So that's like 7 or 8 significant strike difference throughout the fight, so close enough. Gatto lands a takedown and a half over the course of 3 rounds. Lipski, not much to speak of in that department, but Lipski has a 73% takedown defense, so that evens it up a little bit. She can hopefully keep the fight standing. Coming off the win over J.J. Aldrich by decision, but got KO'd by Priscilla Coqueta and beat Mandy Bohm by decision. Now, Melissa Gatto, a little less experienced, lost to Tracy Cortez by decision in the last fight, but did beat Ciara Eubanks by KO and Victoria Leonardo by KO. So this is going to be an interesting fight. Very close. A lot of takedown attempts, a lot of takedown defense. Again, Brazil on Brazil. And even though Lipski has a ton of experience, which always confuses things a little bit, I'm still going to lean towards Melissa Gatto here to get the win. I like the fact that in 11 UFC fights, only has lost 1 time. So that's important here. Melissa Gatto wins. She'll have to even up the significant strikes. We'll need some takedowns. Even though she's favored in this fight, the odds are kind of against her because of the takedown defense of Lipski and the activity. But I think Melissa Gatto will find a way to win this fight. The first round will be a struggle, but she'll win rounds 2 and 3 to get the victory to move to 9-1, in my opinion, women's flyweight division, UFC Vegas 76. In the welterweight division at UFC Vegas 76, you got Max Griffin coming at 19-9, taking on the undefeated Michael Morales, who comes in at 14-0. Now, he's 1 inch taller at 6 feet. Talking about Michael Morales. He's only 24 years old, man. This guy's got a long way to go. Max Griffin, a lot more experience. He's 37, so 13-year age difference in this one. Morales, 3-inch reach advantage. Both guys stand right-handed. Morales more active so far, 5.4 significant strikes per minute to 4.2 for Griffin. In terms of takedown average, both guys nearly 2 takedowns over the course of 3 rounds, so defense is going to be important. Now, Max Griffin, 71% takedown defense. That's pretty darn good. Michael Morales, 86%. That's good as well. Max Griffin coming off the win over Tim Means. Split decision. That's a good one. Big one. He lost to Neil Magny by split decision. So he's stepping it up as of late. That makes things much more complicated here. Morales beat Adam Fugit by KO. He also KO'd Trevin Giles. At the Contender Series, he won by decision but had 4 takedowns, led 53-52 in significant strikes. Now, against my better judgment, I'm going with Michael Morales. And, you wonder, he's undefeated. Why is this a tough prediction? Max Griffin, 19-9. But Max Griffin has proven, especially against Neil Magny, that he's getting better and better as time goes on. The age is not a factor yet. He's 37, so he's slowing down a bit. But he's also got a lot of experience and knows how to win fights. But I still lean towards Michael Morales to win and move to 15-0 because he's going to land more significant strikes. He's going to defend the takedowns. He's probably going to land some. It's going to be a battle, but he should squeak out a decision here. And this will be a big fight for the future of his career and get him a lot of experience. But Michael Morales wins to move to 15-0 welterweight division. UFC Vegas 76. In the lightweight division at UFC Vegas 76, one of my favorite divisions, probably the best in the UFC. Damir Ismagulov, 24-2, takes on Grant Dawson, who comes in at 19-1. Both guys stand 5'10". Ismagulov has a 2-inch reach advantage, 74-72. That could be important. Damir stands right-handed. Grant Dawson, on the other hand, is a switch stance fighter, which is always an advantage, right? Because they can switch their stance to match up with their opponent or go opposite stance. Now, Ismagulov, pretty active, 3.8 significant strikes per minute to 3.1 for Grant Dawson. In terms of takedown average, that leans towards Grant Dawson, 3.8 over the course of 3 rounds, where Ismagulov lands just a takedown over the course of 3 rounds. So Grant Dawson favored in takedowns, Ismagulov favored in terms of significant strikes, but those are pretty close. Now, Damir has fought some good fighters like Arman Sarukian. He lost by decision, but he beat Guram Kudalate, Rafael Alves, Thiago Moises, and Joe Alvarez all by decision. So he's got some good competition. Now, Grant Dawson, on the other hand, coming off the win over Marco Madsen by submission. Jared Gordon by submission. He did lose to Ricky Glenn. That's kind of shocking, but beat Leonardo Santos. So, both fighters are really good. I'm not doubting Grant Dawson. I mean, gosh, the guy's 19-1. It's hard to go against him, man. But Ismagulov's 24-2. So they're both good in their own right. I like Ismagulov to sneak out a victory here. He's going to have to defend the takedowns, right? But he does so 3 out of 4 times. So I like him to find a way to win 2 out of 3 rounds. So I have to get out of one of these takedowns in one of those 2. But he will and win the fight, in my opinion, by decision to move to 25-2, lightweight division. UFC Vegas 76. In the middleweight division at UFC Vegas 76, big fight. Sean Strickland comes in at 26-5, taking on Abus Magomedov. Really good fighter, comes in at 25-4. Now, Abus is 1 inch taller, is 6'2". They're both 32 years old. Magomedov's got a 2-inch reach advantage, 78-76. They both fight right-handed. Now, Magomedov's numbers are off the charts because of limited fights. 22 significant strikes per minute. That's unrealistic. 5.8 for Sean Strickland, which is really good, right, over the course of his career in terms of activity. Lands about a takedown over the course of 3 rounds. Nothing to speak of yet for Magomedov, but he can take the fight to the ground. However, Sean Strickland has an 85% takedown defense. He bounced back after back-to-back losses to Alex Pereira and Jared Cannonier to get the win over Nazaruddin Imavov by decision. But he's also beaten guys like Jack Hermanson, Uriah Hall, Christoph Jocko to work his way up the rankings. Now, Magomedov has just one fight in the UFC against Dustin Stoltzfus. He did his job getting the first round KO in just 19 seconds. And that's why his numbers are so high. And it makes this fight really tough to predict because we don't know enough about Magomedov. We know a lot about Sean Strickland. We know he can fight with some of the best fighters. We know he can get in there and hang. I mean, against Cannonier, who we just saw what he did this past weekend. He lost that fight by split decision and actually led 152-141 in significant strikes. So this is a tough one because Magomedov could be much better than expected. I mean, I expect him to be really good, but it is Sean Strickland, one of the top guys in the division. So I got to go with him. The activity is great, 5.8 significant strikes per minute. That's remarkable. Again, Magomedov could come in and win. Not doubting him here, but just because of the experience and what we know about Sean Strickland, it's hard to believe he could lose this fight. But it could be a battle. It could be a long 5-round decision fight potentially. But Strickland wins, in my opinion, to move to 27-5 here in the middleweight division. at UFC Vegas 76.